So I think, okay, we're recording now. I think you don't have a lot of time, so we can get straight to the questions. So let's talk first
Yes.
about the macro situation because there has been lots of things changing. And electricity prices, gas prices have been through the roof. How is that affecting renewable energy? How is that affecting the environment you're operating in?
Yeah, yes. O- of course, on the negative side, we have the risk of recession and general inflation, of course, and risk of impact to shipping and trade routes. Uh, of course, projects are impacted and operating assets are impacted by higher electricity prices in the short run. For the investment climate, of course, long-term forecasts and risk assessments means a lot more. But it clearly points to that Europe cannot rely on import of fossil fuels, neither when it comes to security of supply, nor for its competitiveness. So hopefully it is a wake-up call for Europe in these aspects that can align where politicians, industry, and consumers can align to speed up and strengthen the electrification process and build out of renewable energy.
Yeah. Have you seen already any sign of that, or we are too early yet
We
to see those signs in Europe?
uh, it's probably too early days to say, but of course we see comments and in discussions and debates sign of both policymakers and from heavy intense energy using consumers to go in that direction.
Okay, understand it. And what types of projects are you seeing right now that are having the most traction? What's being more popular among investors? Solar, wind, what's working the best?
Uh, I would say in Europe, onshore wind with as hybrid projects with the co-located BESS is what we see, at least in the Nordics, where we have the main of our bulk of our portfolio. And in the US, there's a big need also for standalone BESS that attracts a lot of interest, but also in the US close to the big AI data
Yeah.
centers, all generation is very much wanted.
Okay. And in the US, have you seen any changes there? Do you still have some strong headwinds there due to the Trump administration?
Yes, we have. You never know from day to day. I would say there are still regulations against onshore wind on federal land, and also some for against the solar PV. That's why we focus on wind on private and state-owned land for wind and PV development, and then focus a lot on battery energy storage
Hmm.
in the US.
Understand that because you recently sold Roca Seca, that was your biggest project there. You received 67 millions of proceeds. That's almost over half of your market cap. Uh, was that project sold at the margin what you were expecting? Did you saw any problems regarding the investors and buyer pool?
Now, no, we're not commenting specific project margins, but this project was a very good example of what we can do. We de-risked the project very much, entered into an offtake agreement in the form of a full toll agreement. All project contracts were executed. We secured a long-term project financing, and that attracted many investors in the sales process. And we were able to sell the project rights for an all upfront payment at a level where we are very satisfied.
Okay, I understand that. So after the Roca Seca project and a milestone payment from Fagersen, uh, I mean, you should be have around 70 million in net cash. What are you planning to do with such vast amount of cash? What's your reinvestment plan? Reward the shareholders? How are you thinking about that?
Yes, yes. With the sales of the Swedish wind project, Boarp, Dållebo, and Fågelåsen in Q4, we're back at a net cash position. And just as you say, we have collected revenues from the Fågelåsen project in Q1, and also almost gross of $67 million from the Roca Seca project. So even if we haven't closed the books for Q1 yet, it's no secret that we are in a good cash position. And the of course management and the board put a lot of efforts into the capital allocation topics, and we have the guiding rules or financial targets of that equity to assets ratio should exceed 30%, and we should deliver a return on equity exceeding 15% on average. And then, of course, excess capital should be distributed to shareholders over time in line with our dividend policy.
Okay, and understand that. So, what opportunities in terms of renewable projects are you seeing for deploying that cash? Are you seeing opportunities in wind, in solar, more in Europe, more in America?
Yes, we have a quite diversified portfolio, diversified over both markets in the Nordics, in Poland, in the Baltics, and in the US, and also diversified between with a mix of technologies, with a base in onshore wind and PV projects, and either then both technologies co-located with BESS or with the standalone BESS. So we see good possibilities in all these markets and technologies going forward.
Okay, so you are expecting to move forward on the pipeline existing projects, or are you investing heavily into new projects?
We are constantly developing new project. As a developer that has been for 35 years in the industry, now we always need to start new projects, to develop new projects, regardless of market situation, since the developing lead time is so long. So we're both developing projects, looking to execute on our own pipeline, and also, of course, always looking at opportunities that might show up in a market situation like this.
Okay, okay, I understand that because in the past you have been mentioning that you were going to a little bit move away of really capital intensive projects like putting tens of millions into going into construction for some projects. Are you still on that perspective, or as you have so many cash, you are thinking of maybe putting some of that capital in some intensive capital projects that need construction?
Yes, we have the possibility to do that. Our latest sales transactions, like the Pienava project in Latvia and the Fageråsen project, was project right sales. So very asset light models. But we also have both our cash position and the construction credit facilities that can be used to take on also construction projects. But it's also it's always to be considered the ratio between reward and risk, and how
Mm.
the capital can be deployed to best benefit the return on equity target.
Okay, okay, understand that. And one doubt I have is on January, you had some write-downs on the offshore wind portfolio, and you withdrew the 1.4 billion EB target, but you maintain the 15% return on equity target. Like from my understanding, the 1.4 billion EB target came from the return on equity target. Could you explain to me how that works a little bit? Are you expecting a smaller equity base, or how's that?
Yes, we the 1.4 billion SEK EBIT target, it was connected to the 3-year business plan, 25, 26, and 27. And with the write-offs of the offshore projects that we needed to do
Mm.
in 2025, it was obvious that with that loss we made for 2025, it was obvious that we couldn't compensate that in 26 and 27 to meet that EBIT target for those 3 years. But looking ahead, we see that the portfolio and the transactions we target to do still supports a 15% return on equity going forward. So that is why we keep and reiterate that target. And yes, that means given the equity base that we have, that we need to be quite close to the previous EBIT target on average going forward. So you could
Okay,
say that we dropped the link to the 3 years,
okay,
25, 26, and 27.
okay. Like you had that one off, and in terms of reported EBIT, it wouldn't be possible, due to the impairment, to post that on a headline basis, but underlying economics, you are maintaining them strong. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And what are the next projects investors should look for? Like, what are the next that are closer in the pipeline for a sale, that are closer to realizing some value?
Yeah, we have several Swedish onshore wind projects in the south of Sweden that we are looking to transact on this year. Also some at least one Finnish onshore wind project, and and also a couple of the US projects, and another BESS project that we under development that we acquired in December, that we Hopefully, it's still under the permitting, but if permits come as expected during 2026, we hope to be able to make a transaction on that this year as well. And then we have our most advanced Polish project called Trio. And it's called Trio because it is a co-location including both onshore wind, solar PV, and BESS at the same site. So a really interesting project.
Okay, and understand. And the renewable energy is going through a tough downturn. Usually, you are basically an investment company. We could say you invest in projects, you develop them. Are you seeing big opportunities in the current downturn? Do you think the sector is thrown out by investors, and there's still good opportunities? Are you seeing better returns, better expected returns now than on the top of the cycle?
Yes, I think now is the time to invest. Absolutely, we see a shakeout in the industry. We see consolidation. We see a lot of product portfolios being for sale. Also operating assets and some distressed assets. Some potentially with potential for repowering in the coming years. We see that CapEx has come down for both wind turbines and PV panels and BESS systems over the last years. So and we have reduced our cost base significantly in Eolus as well. So I think we're in quite a good position to take on both challenges and opportunities.
Okay, I understand that. And as one of the last questions, uh, what would you say? There are some people in the investment community that are a little bit scared of renewables because they over rely, according to some, of subsidies. What would you say to this type of investors that are little concerned of renewables depending on EU policies and subsidies?
Yes, I can understand that, but for instance, in the Nordics, for onshore wind or PV, we don't have any subsidies at all. Investing in a developer as Eolus, of course, we will always have a political risk that we will have to cope with. So we have to diversify over markets and technologies. But we're always focused to deliver projects with the lowest cost of energy. And if we can do that on market-based terms, then the market will be large, absolutely, over time.
Okay, and understand that. And how are you seeing like the forward curve in terms of energy prices for renewable projects? Are you seeing more interest now for PPAs as electricity prices are rising?
Yeah, yes, I would say that we see a larger interest for PPAs. Sorry, we haven't seen so much more in transaction volume of PPAs yet, but we see a larger interest with the higher electricity prices. We had quite high prices during the winter. And with the potential energy crisis ongoing, there comes an interest for different hedging structures, including PPAs, definitely.
Okay, I understand that. Any final comments you would like to make about, because I know you have to go. Any final comments for investors?
No, I think we've covered it.
Yeah.
The most important aspects. Absolutely.
Okay. So thanks, Per. It was a great chat. So I know you have to go. So bye bye.
Oh, but thanks a lot, Hugo, and just reach out to me or Harald if you have further questions or comments. So always a pleasure talking to you.
Sure. Thank you.
Oh,
Have a great day.
thanks.
Thanks.
Likewise. Thanks. Bye.